This is Soph.
This is Rich.
We are from across the pond.
Fun. Hi, Rich.
How are you?
How goes it?
It was good. How was your weekend?
ATP on already. Ooh. Weekend was okay. It was me and Al. We went to Birmingham on Saturday.
Mhm.
Sunday we just stayed local. But yeah, it was good. We always have a good time together.
Together?
Me and my mini me.
And he is adorable. Just wanted to say, your little Instagram pictures of him drinking juice was just adorable. I, it was a very relaxing weekend,
Ooh.
and I had to work. So I worked overtime. So
Look at you, man. You've literally just swooped into a new job and already you're pummeling up the hours.
yeah,
Woo!
yeah. So that was my weekend.
Oh,
So now it is. Is there something you want to say?
I know you were saying about your weekend. How was the weather? Because we've had blazing sunshine over here.
The weather here was terrible. It snowed on Saturday. Sunday, it was like below. I said, yeah, today it was. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. It was below zero. It felt like 12 degrees out.
That was the reason I was asking, because normally I saw on the news that they said you had snow, and normally we get the weather about a week after you, and that's what I saw on the news. We're due snow by the end of the week. So I was like, well, let me confirm whether you actually had any or not.
Yeah, but you know what? It rained and it sleeted and the sun came out on Sunday and
It's gone again?
no, it's still here, but
No.
it's cold.
Mm.
I
Mm.
mean, it's cold.
Well, let's see on Friday's show if the weatherman is correct that we are going to get snow by the end of the week. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Ooh, serious Sunday.
Ooh, yeah. Serious Sunday.
Topic of this Sunday is privacy.
By privacy, we don't mean private parts. Oh, sorry,
We're
serious.
talking about we're talking about privacy. Do you think it's good to have a little bit of privacy in your life?
Well, there's a number of different things. You know me, like we've done a 360. You used to make notes at the beginning and come with like War and Peace written, and I used to wing it. Now you wing it, and I come with all these notes. So there are different bits for it to wing off to.
Oh, I know. I have written some notes too. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think there's a difference between privacy and things being kept a secret?
Ooh, that was a good one. Yeah, there's a difference.
Because I know that I'm not chucking you under the bus. I'm using you as a very good example. I know that you always say you're a very private person. So you don't share much on, say, social media, for example. But if say you were in a relationship
Mhm.
and your partner wanted you to share something and you didn't, would you class that as privacy or keeping them a secret?
I would consider that privacy.
But you can have privacy without keeping someone a secret or something.
Well, I don't think if I was in a relationship, I don't think that I would think it would be kind of private. So that's why it would be kind of privacy.
But you wouldn't want anybody to know that you were in a relationship.
No.
But that's secretive then. You can let people know that you're in a relationship without telling them who it is or what's occurring.
But then then you're private. Then you're not private. Then it's not private.
You are. Private is keeping you don't have to share all your details to be private.
That's why it's called private.
But
You keep your relationship. See, like for instance, our show.
Mhm.
Okay. I like our show the way it is. You know, we give out tidbits of ourselves, and then some of it is kept private.
But that's because the show isn't about me and you. The show is about differences across the pond. So therefore, I feel like when we let out private or things about our personal life,
Which we have.
which we have, that's because it's relevant to whatever topic we're discussing. But
Right.
our lives are still kept private, even though we've shared some personal information. So surely that would be the same if you were in a relationship. You can share some of your personal information and still be private. Like you wouldn't go, say you went on holiday, you wouldn't post a holiday snap with like you and your lady friend in there.
No, I wouldn't post at all. It's called a holiday for a reason.
See, that's where we're totally different. Like, I'm not saying I don't plaster my life over social media, but I do like to share certain. So if you went on holiday, you wouldn't even say put a picture up of the beach and be like, oh, having some R&R.
No.
Okay.
I'd pretty much tell you about it, but I wouldn't take any pictures.
What
I'm not a big picture taker, actually.
What do you think social media is there for then? If it's not to either network on, is it there to network on for business purposes?
I think social media is, I think social media, I said media. Social media is for networking, expressing yourself. You know what I mean? You can express yourself without putting all your business out there.
I totally hear that.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people get offended because of the simple fact that some people misunderstand our show.
Mm-hmm.
Some people feel as though like we should be telling like all our personal business, and that's not the purpose of the show.
But whoever said that clearly hasn't watched episode 1 from way back in the day where we stated what the show was about. Okay, it says across the pond with Rich and Soph. It doesn't say across the pond about Rich and Soph. You know, let's not get it twisted.
Exactly.
But I don't think there's issue with sharing certain parts of your life. You know, like you said, I share pictures of Alfie on social media. That's because I've got friends and family, well, across the world, not just across the country. So that's a good way for them to keep in check, you know.
Now, when I had my children and they were under my roof, like I would take pictures and post it on social media just for the simple fact of the matter is their mom's side of the family. I was friends with some of the mom's side of the family of their mom's side of the family. So like, and she was working out of the country at the time. So it was kind of like, I was showing her like bits and pieces of what was going on while she was away.
But then that's almost a contradiction to what you're saying because you're not keeping yourself private then.
Listen to what I'm saying. When I had my children, I took photos of my children, just like you take photos of Alfie. I took photos of my children, but now that I no longer, they're grown now, and they're young adults. I don't post pictures of them anymore.
So it's okay to not be private about your children when they're younger, but not as they get older.
No, I mean, they're doing their own thing. Like if they were living under my roof and their mom needed to see them or wanted to know what was going on, then I would take some pictures. Like say, for instance, she missed Richard's birthday. So I took pictures of Richard's birthday and I posted it.
Okay, what if you
So
were
her and
in?
her side of the family can see it.
How would you feel then if you were in a relationship and your significant other posted pictures of you and put them
How
on
would I
her?
feel?
Yeah, would that bother you?
Is she gonna ask me first or
Let's do both scenarios. One, let's say she didn't ask you. You just went on social media one morning and saw your beautiful face there beaming back at you on a beach, like, yo, we're at the
yeah.
Bahamas. Here's my man, you know.
But most relationships I've been in, I always tell them that I'm private.
Okay, but you've told them you're private and they're like, great, you might be, but I'm posting this. And they don't
And
say
then
anything to you. Would it annoy you?
a little bit, it would.
Okay, would you ask her to take it down?
Why would I ask her to take it down? I mean, she already posted it. Ain't no sense of taking it down now.
Okay, so if she asked your permission first, would you say straight up no?
Yeah.
And if she went and done it anyway, would that cause friction?
Yes.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it don't bother me. Like if I post on social media, like my posting on social media don't change. If I'm single, if I'm in a relationship, if ever I get married, whatever. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I share tidbits about my life, about what I'm doing. Now let's not get it twisted. I'm not one of those people that are like, woke up this morning and had a number two on the toilet. Oh,
Yeah.
this is what happened. Oh, I went and did this. Oh, you know, I'm also not one of those people, you know, like there are some people who only post the good stuff, right? They only post themselves looking their absolute best with 10,000 filters. They only post holidays, they only post good food, they only post good shit. I'm not about that life either. I like to keep it
Yeah.
real. I like to
Yeah.
share a percentage of my life, but at the same time, keep it real. You can go through my social media. There are pictures of me looking like this with no makeup on, no hair done. Alfie's got up at ridiculous o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, whoa, let's keep it real. This is what's occurring, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
And see, I'm the total opposite. I kind of keep I rarely it's very rare that I would take a picture of myself and post it.
Mine isn't just pictures of myself. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not saying about you. I'm saying for me,
Mm.
when I say that I'm private, it's like it's very rare that I would put a picture of myself on social media. I have done it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when I was away, I took some pictures and just to thank everybody for their support. And then I did on my books because they have my picture on it. You know what I
And I
mean?
will say those pictures you took when you were away were very artistic. It's not even like, okay, here's a selfie. We got like earphones, shades in the sun. Let me look away to the distance, not look at the camera. Like
Yeah.
you give them some serious thought. You didn't just put any old ish on there.
No, no, I never just put just any old picture on there. But
I have to say, before you change the subject, I think the world would be a better place if it's on more of your face.
oh, why thank you. That was really sweet of you to say.
You're still like, no.
You know, I'm just at, you know, when it comes to privacy, I feel as though there's a limit to privacy when it comes to
I mean, maybe it's I'm not being sexist. Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable. I'm not trying to be sexist. Maybe it's a man thing. Like my dad don't do any social media whatsoever, and he just says anyone who wants to get hold of me would have my telephone number, and if they haven't, then they're not at that stage where they know me like that, you know. Um, I, I don't know. I was going to say you either are in social media or you're not, but that's not strictly true because my mum, of all people, my mum got into Instagram, but
Mhm.
she doesn't really post that often. She just posts either random stuff about her dog, random stuff about random stuff about food, but it'll be
Yeah,
literally once in a blue moon, you know. So
yeah,
she's probably what I would say private, not secret, you know.
right. Well, I got like a lot of family, so I try to keep up with them So I have social media so they can keep up with me and I can keep up with them. But then there's a limit to what I, unveil to my family. You know what I mean? Um, but the people that are closest to me, I don't need social media for them. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of my friends aren't even on social media. So um that's how I look at privacy. It's not being a secret. It's just keeping certain things to yourself. Like I want to keep, like if I was in a relationship, I want to keep my relationship between me and her, not me,
Okay.
her, and
But,
3,000
but but I
views.
have been in a relationship before where somebody posted zero about me or the relationship on any of their social media. So on the face of it, even though they went on social media and posted a few times, on the surface of it, anybody from the outside looking in would think they are a single man, because that is how they portrayed themselves to the world through their social media.
Mhm. Well, how would I mean, me personally, that's why I mean by private. That's why I don't put anything on there to make you think that I'm either in a relationship or not in a relationship. That's the whole privacy part of it. What I post on my social media are things that I would think other people would like to hear.
So
You know what I
how would
mean?
that work
Like
then? Let's
quotes,
just let's
like
just
quotes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I love me some quotes and some memes, whatever you want to bloody call them.
Me too.
I am the queen of those. Um, but what makes me, I've got two things to say. One thing that makes me laugh about social media is if you post a quote or a meme, straight away somebody will be like, "Oh, you okay?" Why am
Yes,
I not okay? I just posted a quote or a meme that resonates with me, or I get where it's coming from. Don't mean to say I'm
exactly.
going through it. I just
Right.
like it. But the other thing I was going to say was, oh my God, it's gone.
No
What?
way.
It, okay, that was what I was going to say. So say you don't give anything away either way. You're saying it's left to each individual's imagination. Are you? Aren't you? Are you? Aren't you? How would you deal with it then if you had women dropping in your DMs,
Well, I
being
don't
like,
have women.
oh,
See, I
let,
don't
let's
have
just
women
let's
dropping in
just
my
use it
DMs.
as a for example. Say you had some dropping in there saying, "Hey, how you doing?" You know,
Mhm.
and you was with a chick. Would you quash it?
Yeah, you would squash it. Yeah.
Would you tell the chick or not?
Would it? What chick are you talking about?
Your lady friend, would you tell your partner that you had these messages or not?
No.
Oh, okay.
Especially if I'm squashing it. It'd be different if I had a stalker, then I would let her know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, that's all about being mature too. Like if I had somebody hit me in my DMs, I would let them know that I'm involved with someone. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't lead them on. You know what I mean?
So you don't think by saying nothing at all, you don't think it's false advertising?
Mm-mm.
And this is why I love our show because we both sometimes we do have differences of opinions, and I like it when
Yeah,
we
because
have
I
them.
look at it like this. You know how you ever watch those shows where um like celebrities, and I consider us celebrities. So, some people be like, well, are you in a relationship? Yes or no? And like Michael Jackson would always go, that's my personal, I'm
Mhm.
private,
Yeah.
this, that, and the third. And that's how a lot of celebrities live their life. I don't want to have every facet of my life.
And listen, I'm not saying if I let's just say I was in a relationship and I'm like, okay, I'm in a relationship. It wouldn't be like, hey, here's my boyfriend. But if I went on holiday, I wouldn't hide him necessarily. Do you know what I mean? Like, say I
Mhm.
wanted to take a picture of the beach with my toes in the sand and his toe happened to be in the picture. I wouldn't chop it off or anything. I wouldn't go out of my way to hide him.
True that. I wouldn't go out of my way to hide either. But what I'm just saying is, if if I was on a if I was on vacation with a significant other and we took pictures together, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And she says, "Do you mind if I post these?" You know what I mean? 95% of the time, I'd probably be like, no, because I kind of I like to live in the moment of my vacation.
So basically, what you're telling our viewers is when we reach each other's side of the pond, we ain't sharing because it's no one else's business. We keep in that private.
Well, for the sake of the show, we will take pictures. You know
But
what I
we're not
mean?
allowed to share them because it's private. You could have already been to the UK. I could have already been to the US.
Probably so.
No one needs to know.
But for the sake of the show, we would probably post it though.
Somebody would see us somewhere and rat us out, I reckon, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Because remember how I had you on the phone at Walmart and they were
In
like,
the
"Oh my
shop.
God, I love your show." I'm
And you
like,
were
I'm talking
like,
to her right
I'm
now.
on the phone. Here she is. And the woman was like, oh my God, hi. Yeah, crazy. Okay, let's go to a different side of privacy now, right?
Mhm,
How does it work there? You know, obviously you have to have passwords for everything now, right?
mhm.
Is like identity theft a big thing over there or not really?
It is and it isn't. Right now, it's that the cyber attacks and all that other stuff. It is, I mean, it happens. I got some friends who've had their credit cards hacked
Right.
and
And I'm
all
going to
that.
tell you a personal story that I had too. And what I don't understand is, I was thinking about this earlier. What I don't understand is all of these people that crack into your bank, take your money. Why don't they ever do that to multi-millionaires? Why do they just do it to the normal Joe blogs like me and you that ain't really got a pot to pee in? They take the little bit that we have got. Why don't they ever try and hack into, say, Bill Gates's bloody account or something? Do you know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
Okay, so
I
this is
don't
what
know.
happened. One morning I woke up. Now, I'll tell you, I don't really take life too seriously. There's two things I'm serious about. That is people's feelings and money, right? Especially when it comes to my money. So I check my bank account every morning when I get up without fail. So I wake up one morning, it says it's minus £200. I'm like, holy what? Called up the bank. I
Mhm.
said, yo, that was not me. I don't have £200 spare. What is it even been for? So she was like, oh, it was a PayPal transaction. So they obviously hacked into my PayPal account, swiped it out. I said, la, love, that's not me. She said, okay, well, we'll put it back and we'll investigate. It's fraud. I said, okay. So I had to go through this whole rigmarole to reset my passwords and everything. As far as I'm aware, everything's cool, back to normal. That was, say, on, I don't know, the Friday or Saturday. Then the following Thursday, I think it was, I was doing a job. Luckily, the lady, it was when I had a cleaning company. Luckily, she paid me cash, but went to the garage to put some petrol in my car, right? Filled up
Mhm.
£30, went to the thing, put my card in. The man said, your card's been declined. I said, what? There's money in there. I said, listen, just take this cash and then I'll call up the bank. So I called
Mhm.
up the bank and she said, oh, can you hold, please? I need to transfer you through to the fraud department. I said, why? I was on the phone for ages the other day sorting this out. Anyway, she passed me through to this man. Oh, I was hot. I was saying to him, mate, I went through this the other day. I sorted it all out. Why have you blocked my account again? He said to me, well, have you called lately? I said, mate, I called you at the weekend like a couple of times to sort this out. He said, oh, you didn't call Tuesday then at 10:30? I said, in the morning, nah, I was working. He said, didn't call from this number, read out this mobile number. And I was like, no, I've only got my one mobile number. He said, someone called the bank at 10:35 on Tuesday pretending to be you, but they couldn't answer all the questions, which is why we locked your account.
Look at that. I ain't never had nothing like that happen to
Somebody
me.
pretending to be me. Don't they know there's only one Sophie Stanmer in this world? You know,
I
like,
know. I've had like in the past, I've had my bank card hacked, but they didn't take anything out of it. What happens is the bank notified me
Okay.
and closed my card down and sent me out a new one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Because I
there is.
think it's a huge hassle for passwords. I wish people wouldn't be that way to where you have to put passwords in the stuff because I can't stand a password.
Do you have like the thing on your bank card there where you just have to press it onto the machine and it goes through?
Yeah.
Now, I did not want that for about 2 years after it come out. Everyone was taking the mix saying, oh my God, you're old school. You need to update your card. And I'll be like, nah, people have got machines where they can just walk past you, peep it, and then take your money. And at the time when it first come out, £30 was the maximum you could do on this chip bloody thing. And I said, I don't care. And they were like, well, it's only £30. I said, yeah, imagine if you do that 4 or 5 times. It's not just £30 then, right? That could clock up. Now I have got it. They've put it up to £100.
And somebody can walk right past you and
Right,
dee.
right, and you would not even know.
I didn't even know I had it on my card.
It's those 3 little, it's like a Wi-Fi symbol.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had it on my card until someone told me about it. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Has yours got a limit on it, like over there in the US?
I don't know because I don't really use it.
Mm. Oh no,
But I
you're a
will
cash
find out though.
handler.
I'll find out for our next show.
Yeah. I mean,
If
the
there's
other
a
thing
limit.
is, you know, my aunt who just passed away recently, before she only a couple of weeks before she passed away, we had a message sent to the family thing saying, oh, my aunt's phone's been hacked, so you know, don't call her number. And when I was speaking to my cousins, funny enough, after her funeral, they said what happened was somebody called her mobile trying to get information about her bank account. So while she had them on the line, she used her house phone, her landline, to call the bank and say, look, are you calling me? Because this don't seem right. They said, you need to cut that call off straight away. In that time, these people had hacked into her mobile phone and put a pin on it, hacked into her bank, hacked into all her stuff just because she answered the call. Even to the point
you
where,
know what's going on? What's
even,
going on here is
hold on a
people
second,
are
hold on a second, even to the point where she then passed away a couple of weeks later and my cousins couldn't get access to her phone because it had this random pin on it that these fraudulent people had put on it. She was saying we still can't get into her phone.
wow. You couldn't take it to the phone place and have them reset it?
Well, you got to prove it first, ain't you? They've got, and it's not theirs, it's their mum's, and she's not there, she's passed away. It's a
But
whole
what I'm saying is if you bring the death certificate and tell them what's going down, they should be able to break into that.
Well, I'll ask my cousin and actually an update on what's happened and let you know.
ATP yawn.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can't stand passwords, but for privacy and security reasons, I have them.
Do you know what I can't stand? This isn't my password, by the way. I'm just going to use it as an example. Do you want to log in? What's your password? 1234 hash. No, it's not. It is 1234 hash. Okay, you need to reset your password. What do you want it to be? Okay, 1234 hash. Can you choose something you haven't already used? That happened to me only today. Only today. I'm like, that's definitely my password. It wouldn't be anything else. Oh, you're going to be locked if you try one more attempt. Do you want to reset it? Fine. Okay, I'll use that one. Can you try something that you haven't used before?
Nah, you know what I hate? I hate forgetting my password. And then when I remember it, they say you can't use it.
That's what I mean. It's a joke. And I know they say you shouldn't have the same password for everything, but that's a lot of passwords to remember if you don't.
You got to be smart.
Well, that's my problem right there.
You got it.
Because
You can't
write them down anywhere.
And you can put them in your phone.
Okay, so if someone steals your phone, then they got the passwords to your bank account, the passwords.
They don't know what them passwords is for unless you put it in your phone like that.
Yeah, but if you've
like
got a different one,
if
you've got a different one for everything, you're going to have to write down somehow what password is for what.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell you offline how to do that because that is dope. I do it, and I have the same password for everything.
But they
The
do
only
say,
thing about it is there's a slight variation so that everything is different.
well, I was going to say, they do say you shouldn't have the same password for everything, because if somebody hacks into one thing and then they try something else and they use the same one, they're in there like swimwear. But you know what really annoys me is when it says you've got to have one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, and one character, and it can't be any shorter than 8 characters. I'm like, jeeps.
Now that's one thing I hate, especially when I worked for the government. Their passwords were ridiculous, and it was like 21 characters long. 21 characters long. It had to be 13. I was like, oh, this is too much.
Right? It's just.
And then if you didn't log into the computer long enough, like if say like you're away for your computer for 30 days, if you come back,
Oh,
your
yeah, you got to
password done
reset the whole thing.
expired. It's like, oh my God.
Yep, I had that at Virgin. But also, when they say things like, don't use personal information, don't include your date of birth, don't include this, and I'm like, well, why? That leaves nothing like other than leg 202562.
I'll be sitting there like this. I gotta write it out until one of them works.
But sometimes it only gives you a certain number of attempts before you're locked out.
Well, that's how they do it now, which is, I think that's genius.
Well, that's how sometimes I know when Alfie's picked up my phone. If I pick it up and it says emergency calls only, you're blocked for 5 minutes before you can try again. I'm like, whoa, Nimble Fingers has been here.
All right. How do you feel about when they say private? How do you feel about like when you're at work and people want to know like your personal business?
What do you mean? Like in order to get the job, tell them the personal business?
Yeah.
I suppose it depends what job it is. Sometimes they have to. Like, you mean like about criminal record and stuff?
Yeah. I think if I just got out of jail, depending on what the crime was, I don't think you should have to put that on your application. I don't. I think that's invasion of privacy right there.
Okay, but it also depends. Like if you've been a serial armed robber and you go to apply for a job in a bank, you know, it don't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together. At some point, maybe you might dip your hand in the till because the two go hand in hand. I think.
No, I'm saying it depends on the crime. But what I'm saying, if it's like something that's, because I feel like if you go to jail, you served your time, you want to get out and you want to start over. You want to be a member of society. And I've seen a lot of these movies where people get out of jail and they can't get a job because as soon as they read that they're the felon and don't even have to, you know what I mean? Don't even have to say
I think
what they did, just
I
felony.
think it should be taken at face value. You should put it on there, but you shouldn't be discriminated against. They shouldn't just say, oh no, he ain't got a chance because he's got that on there. They should still give you the opportunity to have a face-to-face interview, and they should question you about it. Have you learned your lesson? Blah, 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 stuff like that. You can tell a lot about a person by their character if you just talk to them.
I still don't like it. I still don't. I think that is.
But then on the other side of it, how do you feel then when they say, what's your ethnic minority? What's your ethnicity? Sorry.
That don't bother me at all.
But why should that play a part in it? Why should it matter what color you are as regards to whether you apply for a job or not?
I always pick something random anyway. I never put African American.
Really?
Yeah, really. I never put African American down.
Because I know when I was at Virgin, it got to a point where you weren't allowed to ask somebody their age. Like, you could put age brackets, so like 20 to 30, 30 to 40, but you couldn't ask specifically somebody's age. It was like
Wow.
some new law or whatever. Like you would be seen to be ageist. You wouldn't give somebody a job depending on their age.
And they called that ages?
You know, like racist, it was ageist.
Wow. Now that's new. I've never heard of that before.
There are some places that don't ask for your ethnicity, if that's the right word. There are some places that don't do that. They don't ask your sex, your ethnicity, or your age.
Oh wow. I ain't been around that. I've seen it all. Age, sex, and what gets me is now I think we talked about this, but these whole different other brackets of what to sign up for, that's a whole nother show.
What to sign up for? What do you mean?
Remember we were talking about binary and all these different
Oh, yeah, maybe that's why
generational.
they took the sex out, because no one wants to know if you're bisexual, pansexual, non-binary, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't bother me. I'll answer all the questions. I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm female. Sex, yes, please. Age, 40. I'll answer it all. It don't bother me.
Yeah, it don't bother me either. It don't bother me either. But I do believe, what do you think about background checks? That's a part of privacy.
But surely that's where that's where the prison thing would come into it. But also, sometimes it's necessary. Look at working in a school with kids. You've got to do background checks if anybody's, been, say, on the sex offenders register or something. You can't just have any old person in there.
Well, I used to work in the school system and you had to be certified. You had to do background check, all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
you have to do a thing called I want to say CBT check, something like that. You have to do here, like a security check to work. But that's what I'm saying. You have to do that. And if you want the job, that's what you got to do. Let's look. I wouldn't want just any old random looking after my child. So, I mean, how would you feel if they didn't do checks and then after, say, a year or so of your child being at the school, Chinese whispers went around the playground? Oh, that teacher used to be a paedophile. You'd go berserk. Why have they let that person in the school?
I would go berserk.
Exactly. Same as. So that's why checks are necessary sometimes. You mean to tell me they're going to let somebody work for the president or MI5 who ain't had background checks? It's not going to be possible, is it?
No, you're absolutely
Because
right.
also, look at these celebrities that have security guards. How do they know matey ain't been a stalker or something? You talking about stalkers. You can't just let any old crazy person up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's not get it twisted. Some people do lie and slip through the net. That's very rare, but it does happen.
It does.
Mm.
I agree.
Okay, answer me this then. If there's somebody, like, because you're on social media, but you post the bare minimum, unless it's about Superman. What do you think if you meet someone, right, nowadays, and they're not on any social media whatsoever? Do you think that's a bit shady? Like,
Nope.
what have they got to hide?
That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I mean by privacy. See, that's why the way the world is now, everybody has social media. And the minute that a person is not on social media, why do they have to be the weird one?
I'm not saying
Why
that.
they got to be the one
I'm
that
asking you, do you think it's shady? Like,
I don't think it's shady at all. I
there's
think
no
it's
Facebook,
genius.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, what's the other one? Pinterest or LinkedIn or nothing.
Yep. Some people, I know a lot of people who are like that have no social media whatsoever. And they're living life just fine. I don't think there's a problem with it. I think we have a friend who Jay Reese who
He's
said he
taking
did
a
away
break.
from social media for what? He needed a
6
break.
months. 6 months was his target, and I think June it's up. that he's due to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he said he found it difficult, like on moments when you're just there twiddling your thumbs that you'd normally say, oh, let me just pick up my phone and have a little scroll or a flick. He hasn't done that. And look, if social media ended tomorrow, would I survive? Of course I would, as would everyone else. Would we have to fill some time? Of course we would. I'd be out of one of my jobs for a start. But
I'm gonna tell you right now, the new job that I'm at right now, they require you to lock your phone up. They give you a locker and you lock your phone up. And I think it's been very, very good for me. Because I used to be on my phone like
at
every
least you
day.
can't get in trouble for making TikToks on work premises.
And that too. Yeah, that too. Thanks for telling everybody. But
You
yeah,
told
thank
everyone previously.
you.
I wouldn't have just
I
chucked
was
you
trying
like
to
that.
I was trying to forget about that. Anyway, I think it's good and I don't think there's a problem with it. If I were to meet somebody and they were not on social media, would make me want to get to know them even more.
Would it be an off-put? Say they were one of these people where you went out for dinner and they were taking pictures of their food, posting it, taking pictures of you went, posting it. Oh, we're at the cinema, click, post it. If they were one of those people, would that be an off-put?
No.
Oh, really? See, I'm not gonna lie. When I go out with Roy, his thing is he's a food blogger. He eats food, blogs about it, gives his review. No matter where you go, the waitress brings out all this food. I'm not allowed to touch it until he's literally set the scene and taken a picture of everything. And he says all the time, my family get really peed off about this. And I'm like, just do whatever you got to do. Don't touch it. Hold on, just a few more,
Yeah, I have a friend who does that too.
Mm.
And I find it hilarious.
It doesn't
I
bother
find
me.
it
It doesn't
hilarious.
bother. I mean, when I'm hungry,
It doesn't bother me because I'm gonna eat the food. As long as you don't take forever for the food to get cold.
right.
If
If
the
I'm
food starts getting
hungry,
cold,
then
then
I am like, come on, can we just G it up a bit because I need to eat. Um, but yeah, it doesn't bother me. And this is the thing. I think social media is really good for business purposes, especially, like that's a good way to get more
I
business.
think social media can be a crippling effect too.
Oh yeah, there's two sides. It's a double-edged sword, as somebody would say. There's two sides to a coin. There's good and bad. It's good if people use it for good, but yeah, other than that, it can go totally south
Quick too.
quick.
Just to bring up celebrity news, the whole thing with Kanye West, how he was texting his wife crazy.
But the thing is, though, she's the sort of person that would plaster personal. She'd probably put screenshots on her social media just to make herself look better. This is the thing. You're going to chuck someone under the bus like that, the father of your kids, like by posting personal messages. That's a joke. Now, if anyone tries to find, which we've shared our social media handles, but if anyone tries to find us on Instagram, your account is private. They would have to request you to be able to follow you. Mine is open. I'm out on proud. Anyone look, like, don't follow me, follow me. I couldn't give no ish,
Yeah. Well, see, I've come into the habit of like random people just like wanting to be friends with me and I don't know who they are.
Oh yeah, me too. You can be my friend if you want. I ain't going to return the favor. I've had somebody message me once saying, can I send them full-length pictures of myself? And I said, mate, my social media is open. Go and knock yourself out. Look at all the pictures you want. He said, well, there's no full-length pictures on there. I said, well, you obviously ain't scrolled back far enough because they are. And he was like, oh, why won't you? He said something. And I said, look, my mum taught me never to speak to strangers. So, and he was like, oh, am I that much of a stranger? You won't send me a picture. I said, yes, I don't know who you are. And he said, well, I really want to get to know you. I said, I really want £1 million in my bank. We don't always get what we want.
See, that's where privacy sits right in there.
But to
See,
be fair, I will say 99.9% of the time when I get those messages, I don't bother to reply to them. On the odd occasion, like that time, somebody will catch me in a sarcastic mood and I'll think, do you know what? Let's just have a little bit of fun with this, shall we? Other than that, I don't reply. They just sit there in their inbox unread.
yeah, see, I don't get any DMs or messages or anything like that.
You probably do. You probably just don't go to the requests or the other box that they sit in if you're not friends together. You probably
Probably. I
you'll
don't
probably
know.
go there and find you got a whole hell of a lot of messages in there from your adoring fans from the show.
Probably so. I don't know. So DMs means what?
Direct message, like
Okay,
in
cool.
your inbox.
Yeah, I never knew what DMs meant. So thank you for clearing that up for me.
That's all right.
I'm,
Oh my God,
I'm,
women could have been
I'm so
saying to
clean.
you, I'm going to slide up in your DMs, and you'll be like, yeah, come on, it's fine.
Yep, I don't
But
have
you
a
ain't got a
clue what
clue.
that means. I don't have a clue. And now that my kids are gone, I normally used to ask them all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yo,
They'd
I'm
be like,
telling
Dad, you
you,
don't know that?
anything to do with social media, I'm your man. You can ask me anytime.
Oh, thank you.
I currently run 11 accounts. So if there's something you need to know, let me know.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much. Now,
Anybody else? And I just plug. If anyone wants their business social media managed, let me know. I'll hook you up.
she'll hook you up.
Hooked up, crooked up.
Now, would you ever go on a, say, 2 weeks with no social media?
What do I get something for that?
Personal, your personal account.
Do I get something for that? Like, is there a prize at the end of it?
No, there's no prize. Self-gratification.
But then that would defeat the object, because even if I don't go on my personal account, I can still nose and shifty around through business accounts. So that would defeat the object. It'd have to be a total like cold turkey. Otherwise, I'd still go and nosy. Oh, I'll just nose through this account or that account. I don't, I'm not gonna lie.
So, okay, would you be able to go cold turkey
If it didn't
and
affect
for
my business,
even if it didn't affect your business, would you go cold turkey and for how long?
well, you just said 2 weeks. Don't be changing the goalpost now. Like, let's just
Two
say
weeks.
it didn't affect my businesses. It didn't affect the businesses that I manage on social media. Like they said, look, there will be zero impact whatsoever financially, customers, business. Then yeah, I could go 2 weeks. I might start twitching at the end of it, but I could go 2 weeks. I could probably go a month.
I don't know. There's certain things that I like that I don't know if I could get rid of. That
Like
I
what?
would quit cold turkey. Like I like Instagram and I like TikTok.
Which is why I said, what is the goal at the end of it? I know a lot of people that have social media breaks, and they say it's
Mhm.
good for the soul, it's a good cleanse, even if it's just for a week or 2 weeks, and they do say, not whoever they are, but people do say that you should do it every now and then, just have a complete cold turkey. But I don't feel like I need to have one at this moment in time. Do you know what I mean? If it became, like, say it was impacting my health, or there was some sort of issue with it, then yeah, fair dues. But I don't feel at this moment in time I need to.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I don't think this moment in time that I need to either. I like social media.
Oh yeah, I mean, if someone out of all of them, I'm with you. Instagram and TikTok would be the top two. If I never went on Facebook
And
again,
Pinterest. I love me some Pinterest.
and I'm not really a Pinterest person, but if someone said you could never sign into Facebook again, that wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, it won't bother me either because it's my Instagram's
You
connected
know
to it.
what I find bizarre about myself? My Instagram account is open. Like I said, anyone can go peep in from the sidelines and not say anything. I wouldn't know they were looking. My Facebook account is private.
Why is that?
I honestly don't. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I think Instagram is basically just pictures, right? So you just put pictures on and then you put it. Whereas Facebook is actual, like you have to write a status. Do you know what I mean? Oh, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
What are you up to? Blah blah
Or
blah.
how you feeling today
Right.
and all that good
So
jazz.
I'd rather just drop a picture, a meme, a quote, or whatever, and be done. Whereas, yeah, Facebook's a bit more. No, like Facebook even says at the top when you open it, "What's on your mind today?" When am I next going to eat a cheeseburger? No one needs to know that, so I'm not going to post that.
That's where privacy comes in.
But I do share cheeseburger pictures on Instagram. See?
Food pictures.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong with food pictures. I love food
Listen,
pictures.
I
Food pictures make me hungry.
10,000% agree. But why do people post food pictures and the food just looks like they dragged it up out of a bin or something? Like if you're gonna post a food picture, it's got to look edible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you've dogged some of my food pictures. I know exactly what you mean.
And I'm not going to, okay, I am chucking him under the bus. You know, AJ Slambino, who was on the other day. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm going to get the picture because this is what I mean. He's a food guy, right? He eats food. He blogs about food. Now, he put this thingy on the other day and said, "Oh, look at my homemade Philly cheesesteak. It
That
looks,
looks
it looks like
burnt.
a turd with mustard on it."
It's cheese.
But it doesn't look like that. It looks like a turd in a bun.
It looks burnt.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. If you're gonna put a food picture on there, and let's not get it twisted, most of the time his food does look amazeballs, like his pasta and meatballs. Yes, I could eat that with cheese on top. Then he made leftovers with steak, blah 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 blah. But I did notice that one picture and think, ooh, what's that? Like, it just looks like Hanky the Christmas poo in a bun with a bit of sauce. Sorry, AJ Sambino. You know I love you if you listen and watch still. So yeah, if you're gonna post a food picture, people, make it look appetizing.
Make it look delicious.
Yeah, I'm not talking like MasterChef standards, but come on. There was no need for that picture.
Food critic over here.
Look, all I know is let's just say so you went out and someone served that up to you. Would you want to eat it?
Depends if I was drunk.
Listen, there ain't no
Sorry,
amount out.
Slambino. Sorry, Slambino. Throw it at you like that.
The thing is, though, it's probably really tasty, but you know, we eat with our
And I
eyes.
haven't seen the clear picture. Where I'm sitting, it looks burnt.
Honestly, go to his page. You'll
I
see it.
am. I'm gonna go to his page right after this.
I mean, if you're going to post a food picture, look at mine. Hello. This is what I'm talking about. Get
Yeah.
amongst it, people. Post good pictures that look appetizing, that you want to eat this ish. I mean, come on. Hello.
Hello.
That was some serious grubbage. Otherwise, I wouldn't have posted
Oh,
it.
all right. Let's bring it back to privacy.
We swung left.
Huh?
That's all my points on privacy. I don't know if you've got any more.
No, I don't have any more.
I think
I think it's okay to be private, and I think it's okay to have standards when it comes to privacy.
I agree, but it's not okay for somebody to be kept, things to be kept a secret.
Yes, I agree. But if a person is private, they should have the right to express what they want to keep private, not a secret. Want to keep it private.
Well, we've covered everything: social media, bank, fraud, identity
Passwords.
theft, passwords, the lot.
Yeah.
We don't normally talk about films, but I just got to say this because last week's film review and I know I keep saying it, and we definitely are going to start sharing them again. But last week's film review was The Weekend Away on Netflix, which you gave a 3 and I gave a 1-2. We both said absolutely diabolical acting, right? I don't know why you gave it a 3. Anyway, I spoke to Fiona earlier and she said to me, oh my God, I listened to the film review. And I was like, yeah. She said, you two slated that movie. And I said, because it was rubbish. And she went, do you know what? You slated it so much, I had to go and watch it. I had to watch it to see if it was really that rubbish. And I was like, and what did you think? I'm with Rich. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. It wasn't that bad.
I told you. If it would have had the right cast, it would have been a really good movie.
She said, not giving away any spoilers, but I said to her, who did you think done it? She said she thought it was the cop.
Yeah. I don't know. It was so many plots and twists to it. I didn't know who did it.
Listen, people,
to the very end.
If anyone's seen The Weekend Away, which was ranked number 1 last week on Netflix, why?
Ranked number 6 here.
Why I do not? It's still it's only like number 5 or number 6 here, like weeks later. Why, I don't know. I gave it a 1 out of 5. Rich gave it a 3, but we both said the acting was diabolical. Nobody is winning any Oscars on that performance anytime soon. So if you want to go and watch it and let us know, be like Fiona. Go and watch it. Get amongst it. Let us know. So
that's amongst it.
Serious Sunday wrapped up in a nutshell.
Yes, it was. So you know what we say. This is Soph.
This is Rich.
And we are from across the pond.
I'll see you on Wednesday, Rich, for our meeting, and we'll see these guys on Friday for some fun. Yepper.